This is a really good way to get re-energized about the business that you're in. Like if you're really tired of what you're doing, it's an awesome way to re-energize. The one I'm about to show you in a second I think is even better. But it's a great way to re-energize. I was talking to Rich, who's a patent attorney we were talking about earlier, who bought me the popcorn. He said, man, I don't know how to make my thing new. I don't know how to make it secret. I don't know how to make it different. And I don't know how to make it expiring soon. And I totally got him in a second, because I think one of the challenges, that it was a good lesson. One of the challenges, these are so good for you. Most people don't know the health benefits of Red Bull. My heart's going to actually explode out of my chest, and you won't be able to see it because I wore a red shirt. Sugar-free, because I'm watching my figure expand. All right. All right, that's enough of that shit. All right, so, but if you do this, that's extra good. If you can do like the chipmunk teeth. Where was that? Oh, so back to Rich's offer. So Rich offers a consultation, which I think, by the way, sucks. An evaluation, blah, 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 blah. We do it in our other business. We call it an audit, which I think is the worst thing in the world to call it, but it works. I hate that term, because who wants an audit, right? Who wants an evaluation? Who wants to be, raise your hand if you'd like to be evaluated. Nobody wants that, right? But anyway, we were talking about what's new, what's secret, what's different, what's expiring soon. InventHelp had a good twist on his business. They're kind of, sort of in the same business, right? But really new for him, and this is a biggie. Does anybody know what a provisional patent is? Everyone know? How many people know what a provisional patent is? Rich? You get my point? Right. So a provisional patent is a thing in the patent law that allows you to file a patent very inexpensively, very quickly, without much proof, and lets you have a certain level of protection, right? When we're in a business like Rich is, and he's so deep into that, that's not new to him. That's been around for years. It's boring, it's old, it's whatever. It has, how long is 10 years they've been doing that maybe? 1996. So yeah, so a little longer than that. So 96, 2006, 20 years. 20 years, yeah, but 20 years. But how many of you knew it existed? Everybody knows what a patent is, for the most part, but nobody knows what a provisional patent is. So a provisional patent lets you file for, what, $500 or so, you can get that thing, right? $100. So you get a $100 patent. So, but that's new to most people, right? So don't think that something that's new in your industry, everybody knows about. They just don't, right? Two, what's a secret? Well, the secret is it can be done for $100, right? Not tens of thousands of dollars, right? What's different about it? I'm sure that any legal mind like Rich has a strategy for using provisional patents that's not just the head-on normal strategy, because filing a provisional patent and not doing anything later is pretty much a waste of money and time. So he has probably a strategy. That's the different part. And the expiring soon part is, you know, they don't want you to be able to do that. So big, giant intellectual property companies are fighting these things tooth and nail because they don't want the little guy to have a shot. Now you're establishing an enemy too. You follow? They don't want you to be able to do the same thing they could do, right? So that's how I would position that. Anybody got one they really liked? Yes, no, maybe? Anybody have a big challenge with this? Yes, no, maybe? Anybody want to go to the pool? All right, my man. I'm with you. Me too. I wish I could do it. Here you go. Ready?
But let's say from the other part of my businesses, we serve a client, not client, of course, but dentists. We provide the lead client acquisition for dentists. And most of the time, they always speak the same thing on their website. Everybody is the same. Like if we take like 20 dentist website, they always saying the same. So do you have a way when they have their own like ethic code of dentists? And
yeah, some industries are you're hamstrung. Like the trading houses and things like that, they're really screwed. Franchisees are really screwed because, pardon? Yeah, it's regs,
Yeah.
you know. So maybe dentists are regulated. They're probably not as regulated as they're just boring.
Yeah, exactly.
And,
they have
and they
their
and
own,
they like boring, and they don't understand that they would never want to do something. Ooh, that might offend somebody. If I'm not offending 3 people a day, I don't think I'm doing my job, right? So they're afraid of offending people, and that's a really terrible place to be. But talking them out of it's hard, you know. So maybe you just get leads for them and give them the leads. Feed them
That's
the leads.
exactly what I did.
Yeah.
I created. I followed the first course you did, like the secret
Yeah.
selling system. and I
Mouth like a
created-
horse, you know.
Yeah, but I
No,
created
we'll fix it.
a 14-day trial where I bring them the client for free.
Yeah.
So when they receive the call, now they're like, oh, okay.
And they'll pay a lot more money for that,
Yeah,
right?
exactly.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So
Okay.
just sometimes you just want to change. If you get in those situations where you're boxed in, just change the box, right?
That's great. Thank you.
All right. Anybody got a challenge? Nope. Okay. So we'll move to the next one. I think this is my favorite. One of my favorite things. Like this guy said, the new creates the itch, right? I want one of these cars desperately bad. This is the new ZR1 supercar. Can you tell I'm kind of a car nut? Yeah. I really want one of these things. But I don't want it because I need it. I want it because it's new. Nobody else that I've seen around has one. I think they're freaking awesome, right? Once that new thing comes out, that's the reason all cars aren't exactly the same all the time. It's the reason they spend millions of dollars breaking molding and design work to build a car that's fundamentally the same. In most cases, this one's not because it's awesome. But generally speaking, cars are the same, right? Why they keep changing model years? Because they got to make it newer. You'll stop buying it. That's why. You want the new. Everybody wants the new. Third rule. People believe secrets are being kept from them. Play on that, right? Not as much as Kevin did. Unfortunately, he didn't have much luck with the authorities on that. But that had to do with business practices and not the title of his book. The title of books are genius, you know. Natural Cures, they don't want you to know. He left that totally open interpretation as to who they were, but he was playing to an enemy, right? He's absolutely playing to an enemy. But people believe naturally, like I believe that NASCAR is such a huge sport because I believe that a lot of people believe that if they had a fast NASCAR, they could race with those guys. They believe the car is the thing being kept from them, not the fact that they have no upper body strength, right, and no skills. They believe that they can. I mean, I really believe if you ask 100 NASCAR fans if they got Dale Jr.'s car to drive, would they be a qualifier? They go, hell yeah, you goddamn right I would, buddy. You know, I'll kick their ass, man. Right? They absolutely would do it. Jeremy would do it. The car would be weighed down, but it's only going to, yeah, I would just turn, I was just a comedian. There's a comedian that does the thing, says, I'm not scared of NASCAR drivers. They don't scare me. I'll just turn right. But this book, along with a couple of his other books, sold 50 million freaking copies, purely based on a headline, an offer. Natural Cures, we want those. They don't want you to know about them. Ooh, right? That's it. That's how powerful these things are. If he would have called it Natural Cures, period, I don't think he would have sold 5% of the books. Probably not 1% of the books. These little bitty changes and nuance are a big deal. People believe secrets are being kept from them, right? Solutions to chronic problems require new mechanisms. So this would be a great exercise for you. I'm not going to stop and exercise on this one, but you should later. Tonight, if you can, think about it. Eugene Schwartz in a book called Breakthrough Advertising. If you can get a copy of it, it's $100. If you can find one for $100, they're going up, actually. I got 3 or 4 copies. $400. Brian Kurtz has them.
He has a new license on it, so you can get it for a lot less from him.
Oh, do you know where he's selling them at? BrianKurtz.me. Kurtz, right? Yeah. Brian's a great guy. He was at Bottom Line for a long time. Anyhow, the book's called Breakthrough Advertising. It's a tough read. Gene Schwartz was a genius, probably one of the best offer creators who ever walked the face of the earth. But he writes a whole section about market maturation. And it's really, really an amazing part of the book. The whole book is good. That part's really impressive. And what he says is basically there are always going to be chronic problems. People are going to be overweight. People are going to be tired. People are going to have time management issues. People are going to have confidence issues. People are going to have all sorts of issues in their life that are never necessarily going to be cured. So how do you sell them something? How do you keep selling them hope, right? You change the mechanic, right? It's my friend Shirley back here buys a lot of cosmetic products. She's told me before that every month she buys, and she's beautiful, so it's obviously working. She's 118 years old, ladies and gentlemen. Let's give her a hand. No, but I won't do another. I won't do another stand-up Shirley joke. But every month she buys new things because new opportunities are presented. She wants to try a new thing. She wants to try the new. Once she's tried that new, she's probably not going to buy that thing again unless the mechanic is changed, right? So an example is you might buy a supplement product. You might buy a pill. When the pills stop selling, you're very likely to buy the same thing in a patch. When the patch stops selling, you buy the same thing in a shake. When the shake stops selling, you might buy a piece of exercise equipment or a gadget. Or you might buy lemonade from Ingrid, right? You still selling lemonade? Yeah. So she does that slimming lemonade, right? Slim and lemon. You should call it slim and lemon. Ooh. But yeah, tea. So it could be a tea, right? Bath bombs are huge right now. You know, in the bath market. Enormously huge. Huge, huge, huge market. So it's a different mechanic. It softens the water. You could do it for years. It was Calgon, take me away, right? You sprinkle the shit in the bath and it's good. It's the same shit's in a bath bomb. There's absolutely nothing different in a bath bomb that's in Calgon. It's just a different mechanism, right? So how can you change the mechanism of your product? How can you deliver it differently? Only scarcity moves people, right? Closing windows. The stock market knows this. Like, this opportunity is closing. You've got to get in now or the price is going to be up. Tomorrow it's going to be too late, right? Limited edition things. I bought my wife this bag for a lot of money. And they sell this bag that I think is ugly as shit for a lot more money. So how they get twice the price for the same bag by sticking some of these things on it? Because they're only going to make so many of them. It's a limited edition. Drives the price up. How much is Roland in here? No. Limited edition usually goes up, I think, in Chanel 50%, right? Yeah. So if the other bag's $5,000, this one might be $7,500 for $2 worth of shit stuck to it, right? But it's amazing. Some people right now, a limited opportunity is a scarcity is a lifestyle. They don't have time. They don't have time in their day. I was talking earlier about my niece that quit her job. Ben, same solution. His people want to get out of traffic and lifestyle. They want to change their lifestyles, right? Work from home. Launches work because of these limitations. They work because of limited supply. They work because of scarcity. You know, if you don't know that, look at Apple. You know, the product goes in the market. They build up everything. They sell the product out. You can't get it for weeks at a time. You think that's real? I mean, it's obviously orchestrated. They know how many phones they're going to sell. Come on. I mean, that could all be dealt with differently. They could have loads of phones sitting on the dock. They could open up tomorrow. You go and buy yourself a phone and move on about your business, right? But that wouldn't be an opportunity. Ooh, I got one. You know, freaking sneaker companies. It's crazy. Anybody into sneakers? Like really into them? Like, Guy, are you into sneakers really? Do you have all the crazy collection where you got like 50 or 100 of them in your closet?
I'm scared they're going to run out of that model.
They're going to run out of one, yeah. The whole sneaker collection industry is a giant thing. There are people who have millions of dollars. I'm not shitting you. Millions of dollars worth of sneakers, right? The second they come out, the new Jordan comes out, they sell, tens of millions, if not hundreds of millions of dollars worth in a day. People stand in line around blocks waiting for the stores to open. People leave work, quit. I know somebody in Austin who quit their job because a new pair of sneakers was coming out. Yeah.
Those OVOs, for example, you say what the limited edition's worth. An OVO gym shoe on Jordan is like 25 grand.
25 grand for original Jordan.
And with Tyler Drake.
Yeah, that's just nuts to me. But how much is it? If you think about the material in that, it's absolutely no different than the $4 they spend to make another one with Vietnamese child labor, right? It doesn't matter. But what I'm trying to teach you is all of these things that you're learning move the elasticity of the price of what you're selling, right? They build the value of it, big time. And when you apply them all, it's magical. It really is truly magical. All right, this is my absolute favorite thing that I've learned about marketing in the last 10 years, probably, other than premiums I'll talk about later, is replacement opportunities. Replacement always outsells improvement. Replacement always outsells improvement.
Could that include a version 2.0?
No.
No, okay.
It really can't. It really can't. That's always going to be an improvement offer. But like, for instance, you guys are in jiu-jitsu training, right? So maybe you teach them boxing. Maybe you teach them how to use a crowbar. Fuck, I don't know. But the replacement offer always outperforms. This is one of my favorite examples. Can we do a video?
It's also probably shocking right now to try to think of that amount of money and say, this is what I'm going to do. But what are some of your
Won
immediate
$164
plans?
million.
What do you definitely know you want to do with some of this money?
Well,
That's a replacement offer, right? Anybody that's ever went through a tough marriage knows nobody wants to go to marriage counseling. You just want to have sex with your coworker, right? You don't want to do that. Replacement is so much easier. The example I keep showing you throughout here, who's bought a new car lately? Who bought it because their car stopped working? The answer is nobody, right? When you buy a new car, do you buy one just like the car you used to have? Almost never. You buy something totally radically different. You get a divorce from somebody. Do you marry somebody just like the person you divorced? Nope, somebody completely different. We swing the pendulum, right? We want something completely different. Something completely different. How can you make your offer that is an improvement offer a replacement offer, right? It might be, Cole, that you say, hey, how would you like to replace your job by being a photographer full-time? Right? That might be a replacement offer for you, right? It could be, Barry. Where's Barry at? Barry was talking earlier about what he does counseling with people, that people do meditation for 10,000 hours, or they do Barry's thing. And it's like, boom, and you get this benefit of hours of meditation, right? Barry's challenge is believability. You got to get somebody to believe that, right? Replacement offer for Ingrid's exercise program are ass implants. That's a replacement, no kidding. That's a replacement. You want a Brazilian butt lift? Go work out like Ingrid 12 hours a day for the next 10 years. Or just go let them sock some silicone in your buttocks, which I've been thinking about doing. If you haven't noticed, I'm a little light back there. But I know you're looking, guy. I know you've been looking. But no kidding. Replacement, if you can think about it, replacement is it's everything. It's truly everything. And you can take it and say, guy, you could say, hey, look, you're watching 3 hours of TV a week that's getting you nowhere. Once you spend 3 hours on your financial education, right? Let's replace that, right? Let's replace talking about football with talking about the markets. You're going to meet more interesting people, right? Stop going to the sports bar, start going to the country club. There's all kinds of ways that you can position that, but when you create an offer, it's a replacement offer, it won't outperform your offer by a little bit. It's going to outperform your offer by a lot. By a lot. An example, somebody was talking earlier about Ed O'Keefe, who's a friend of mine. So I worked with Ed years ago on helping him get more dental patients, right, to come in the dental practice. He had a thing called Dental Profits. He taught dentists how to get more patients, how to make more money. Obvious, right? Wrong. Sucks. He's not in that business anymore. You know why he's not in that business anymore? Because dentists don't want more patients, right? We ran all kinds of offers to these guys forever. He made pretty good money, but you know where he made the most money? Self-storage units. How would you like to get out of that damn chair, digging in people, they call it down in the mouth. How would you like to get out of digging around in people's mouths all day as a dentist and own some self-storage units so you can go screw off and have fun? Only all of them said yeah. For a lot more money than they were paying him to get more dental patients, which was way harder, right? Replacement offers are incredibly strong. And you'll understand why a little more in just a second. I got to pace through. So yeah, this is statistics, by the way. Only 17% of people who bought a new car last year needed one. Only 17%. 83% of the car market is total desire. It's newness. I just want a new one. I'm tired of the old one. Where you get a new car? I'm tired of my car. Is it broke? No, just tired of it, right? Think about that in your businesses. You got to grasp that, right? If you're not changing your product, changing your offer, changing your approach, you got to do it on a regular basis because people buy the new, right? People buy the friggin' new. Robert Wang was my mentor, taught me the gift market business. He used to go all over stealing samples out of shops. We didn't even own the stuff. He would sometimes he would shoplift a sample if we couldn't buy one, right? Steal it. Guy's a multimillionaire, would steal a sample. Take it to Atlanta, fill his booth up with all this stuff at the Atlanta Gift Show. People come in and write orders like crazy. We didn't have any of it. He would just guess at how much it would cost to have it made. And when he was done, he would take the book of all the orders, was about that thick. He'd fan it up with his thumb, tear it in half, and say, order this stuff. The stuff on the bottom list that didn't sell as well, send everybody an email telling them that we've done market research on those products, and they're not really great sellers, and we don't want them to get stuck with dead inventory, so we're not going to ship those goods. What a nice service, right? The genius. But the Wang's booth, everybody else's booth at Atlanta had 10 people in the booth, and Robert's booth had hundreds. Because 85% of the Wang's catalog from one year to another was brand new. Anybody here go to trade shows? How many of y'all go to see the old stuff that you saw last year? Everybody wants the new. Who goes shopping? Who would like to go see last year's fashions? Nobody. They all want the new. Really think about replacement. Why do you buy new clothes? Is it because your clothes, you can't wear them anymore? They got holes in them? No, you're just fucking tired of them. We get tired of everything in life, and we're a consumer-driven society that gets tired. Give them something new. Give them something new to be interested in. Give them something new to own, right? Was he an improvement offer or a replacement offer? This is super important. Was he an improvement offer or replacement offer? He was a 100% replacement offer. I'm not a politician. I'm not the same. I'm not like any of these people. I hate them, right? I'm a businessman. Businessmen know how to run things, right? You've had career politicians. I'm the complete opposite from anything you've ever had before. Replace them with me, right? And I truly believe him to be a flawed candidate on so many levels, but it doesn't matter. It doesn't matter because the newness of it was so sexy that people bought it. Among other things, there were other reasons, but I think probably the number one reason he was elected was because of the replacement rule, right? So be completely different than your competition, right? Don't be afraid to be. The replacement rule typically outsells an improvement 5-to-1. Not 50% better, 5-to-1. Once you get it perfected, it's really, really powerful. So replacement offers outsell 5-to-1, right? So the next rule is the need to sort and be sorted. We've talked about this a lot, but I just hammer it in so that you'll understand how this whole program is designed. So the idea is that you learn this psych so that when you do your research, you can see the research through a new set of eyes. You're looking for a different kind of opportunity, right? You're not just looking for keywords or questions. You're looking for what that means. You're trying to divine the mental state, the psychological state of the person and figure out what it's going to be that's going to press their button and push them over. But these are laws that do not lie. Every one of these are better. If you practice them, you will win. If you practice them together, the compounding effect's fantastic. All right. Humans need to sort and be sorted. I usually use the example of, you know, my daughter, she said my daughter's had a baby, and somebody will say, well, first thing that pops in your head is, boy or a girl. Right? Did you think that already? Yeah. It instantly pops in your head. Guess why? You don't care at all. But you have to sort, right? We have to sort. We sort multiple pieces, millions of pieces a day. We're forced to do it, right? And we want people to sort us. That's why we wear t-shirts that say things. That's why we buy cars that say things. That's the reason we wear red shoes. Because I want to be seen as a guy with a little bit of pizzazz. Or a pimp. But yeah, it's a reason Sal's wearing that beautiful baby blue, light pink, white shirt that he has on. He wants to be sorted into a certain group. I won't say which one. That's Hampton Sal. But no, it's cool. That's his gig, right? That's how he wants to be sorted. Huh? We all want to be sorted. So write this down. People buy things that remind themselves and tell others who they are. People buy things that remind themselves and tell others who they are. This will always be true. I firmly believe that people buy a Prius, don't buy a Prius for value. They buy it because they want to be seen as smart and frugal. People that buy a car like mine, it's a 700 horsepower gas guzzler, want to be seen as a badass, right? That's why I have that car. Sounds mean. You hit the button on it. It's like, I wait for little old ladies to walk up behind my car and I hit that remote button sitting at Starbucks. They're like, ah! Because it's just like barks at you when it fires up. Right? I love that shit. That's the kind of car I want. You guys have different cars for different reasons, right? You have different clothes for different reasons. The way that you dress, the way you color. Why does Laura have bright red hair? Because she likes it and she's trying to tell everybody, fuck you, I'm here, all right? I'm a rocker. She likes that shit because she's a rocker. That gets her out there, right? It stands her out. You know, some people want to be seen as more professional. Some people want to be seen as more austere, right? It just depends. But we dress different ways. So we buy things that remind ourselves and tell us who we are. Like, for instance, team colors, right? I use this in Brazil. I used this photo in Brazil when I did my talk down there. And everything's cool because the chicks are hot. You don't see, but check out homie, my man. He's back in, yes, me too. You know, nobody sees him at all. He's invisible. But we wear colors. The city of Las Vegas has been insane with Las Vegas nights. I mean, nuts. It's been crazy. I've never seen anything like it, right? But everyone wants to show their colors. They want to show their support. They want to show that they're a fan so that they'll be sorted by other fans and potentially have conversations with other fans. I'm in a certain club. You're in a certain club. Let's club together. Let's associate. We desperately need that. It's just part of what we do. Right? This was an interesting experiment. 400% more tips from from just putting out a tip jar in front of a coffee shop to putting out 2 tip jars. One says cats and dogs, Iron Man, Batman. Letting people vote with their tips resulted in 4 times more tips. Right? We want to be sorted that freaking bad. So let your people be sorted. Right? Give them things that identify them. Your jiu-jitsu guys probably want gear and swag and stickers and shirts and shit that tells the world they could kill you with their pinky. Right? I just did shirts. One of our guys, Tom Litchfield's son is a Marine sniper. And I did shirts for their team that says, never fuck with somebody who can end you from a different zip code. Right? It's kind of scary. But that's what they wanted, because they want everybody to know they're badass snipers. That's what they do, right? Great example. This is my favorite story. We were at TNC 3 or 4 years ago, and we're walking by to lunch. I think Roland was with me, and we see this giant dually pickup truck. These things like eat 4 gallons of gas a minute, blow diesel fumes into the air, and across the back window of this truck is Vegan Life. And who wants everybody to know they're a vegan that bad? It's crazy, right? You wouldn't think that would be a popular thing to be, hey, I'm a vegan. You vegan? Me too, yeah. People want you to know, right? Yeah, it's a cult. It is. It's just another form of community. Harley Davidson, same way. Guess how many people meet every week to ride their Hondas? Nobody. They ride on Harleys. You know? We sell this IPAC t-shirt. It's a gun for the American Gun Association. We've sold hundreds of thousands of this thing, and people take pictures with it without us asking and post it all over our Facebook. They get their shirt, they put it on, they take a selfie. They post to the group, check out my shirt, it's awesome. Yeah, me too, I got one too. Yeah, me, like 10,000 times more, I got one. You know, it's incredible. They want everybody to know, they're packing, right?